On an early summer day, I hopped on a quick 1 hour train from Tokyo for a laid back day of painting in Odawara, a coastal city that's famous for its blooming hydrangeas this time of year. This is normally a quiet, sleepy town with a lot of retro style buildings lining the main shopping streets, although many of them are closed on weekdays like today when there are virtually zero tourists. I caught these flowers right at the peak of full bloom, and the best place to enjoy them is the garden underneath Odawara Castle. Every year in June, over 2,000 hydrangea plants bloom across the grounds in a sea of dreamy blues and purples. Looking closely, you'll find that they actually come in many different varieties. It's a lot of fun to study their unique petal shapes. I found a great spot right beneath the castle where you can see the entire hill overflowing with hydrangeas, with the 500-year-old fortress in the background. It's the perfect framing for my sketch. I used to do most of my sketching with an ink outline first, but this time I wanted to paint it with watercolor only for a softer, more natural look that I think will go well with these flowers. I mixed a small batch of purple in 2 shades first, a warmer tone and a cooler tone. I started with the warmer color in the highlights and then created this gradual gradient to the cooler purple. I'm keeping my brushstrokes really loose and preserving plenty of white paper for that organic, gentle touch. To keep things simple and loose, I'm not trying to paint each individual petal, but rather just the overall lights and shadows for the entire cluster. I find so much joy in sketching on location like this because I'm completely at peace, just immersing myself in the scenery. It's honestly so much more relaxing than painting from a photo back in my studio, and I get to carefully observe every little detail in the environment. It's one of the best ways to connect with nature, in my opinion. For these big leaves in the front, I decided to paint a much darker background around them to make the colors really pop off the page. Finally, for the castle in the far back, I'm simplifying the structure quite a bit, starting with a light wash of yellow for the highlights, and then strategically adding only the most prominent shadows. With a simple blue wash for the sky, this sketch is complete. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I might actually make this into a postcard print down the road. After the sketching session, I headed up to check out the historical castle site, although this current structure was actually rebuilt in the 60s. It turns out there's a fee of 1,000 yen to climb up the castle. Honestly, I'm no history buff, and I really can't tell one castle from another, so I'm perfectly happy just admiring it from a distance. Next up, I headed down to the ocean just a few blocks away. It's a pretty cloudy day, so this might not be the most picturesque time to visit, but it's nice that I get the entire beach to myself. There's a coffee shop nearby that I've been meaning to visit. They're known for their massive collection of vintage clocks, and all the decor and dishes are clock themed too. I thought it'd be a lot of fun to sketch that, but unfortunately it's closed today. Instead, I walked around a bit and stumbled upon this other retro-style cafe that looked interesting. Stepping inside is like traveling back in time to a more romantic era, with beautiful stained glass windows and lamps and ornate European porcelain figures adorning every corner. As a little afternoon treat for myself, I got a Japanese-style parfait with matcha ice cream, sweet red beans, brown sugar jelly, and warabi mochi, a chewy jelly-like dessert. And of course, I had to capture it in my sketchbook too. Once again, I'm practicing painting this directly without any line work. I think I'm really starting to fall in love with this style. It's definitely a challenge to try to paint my ice cream as it's melting right in front of my eyes, But a little excitement is what makes life fun, right? I just love this plate painted with that elegant flower motif, so I try to do an abstract version of it in my sketch too. For the coffee, I laid down a gradient from light yellow to deep chocolate to capture that glowing effect of light refracting through the ice cubes. I think it turned out pretty nicely. And since I already have a lot of warm oranges and browns on the page, I decided to use an ultramarine blue for the background, even though the table isn't actually blue. I love using complementary colors like this so that the sketch feels more vibrant and alive. Before heading back to Tokyo, I made one last stop at this small shopping center right below the train station. There's a local craft shop here that focuses on woodwork, which is a big part of the cultural heritage in this area. So many of these pieces beautifully combine traditional craftsmanship with modern aesthetics, like these bookmarks made using classic wood inlay technique, or these super adorable mini figurines. I had to work very hard to convince myself that I didn't really need to take these little guys home with me, no matter how cute they are. Another store nearby carries handmade pottery from local artists, so you can find items in many different styles, ranging from plates to vases to tiny accessories. I thought these clay brooches were really charming. Honestly, I deserve a medal for having the self-restraint to walk out of here without spending any money. It's been such a wonderful and refreshing day exploring the town of Odawara, taking in all this inspiration from nature and from the local crafts. I'm so glad I got to recharge my creative battery here. In the next video, I'll be sharing my art-filled trip to Taipei, where I check out and sketch some of my all-time favorite stationery stores and catch up with some old friends. I've got so many exciting hidden gems to show you, so definitely stay tuned. See you next time!